TarotOracle, and this is Tarot and Your Body, Part 2. The first time we covered Mercury and all of Mercury's effects on your nervous system, brain, veins, and whatnot. Now we're on Venus today. This is also known as medical tarot, but this is basically medical astrology translated back into tarot cards. So if you're interested in this, you can pick up a medical astrology book and learn so much more. But this is just a basic, introduction here to Venus today. By the way, the rules vitamin E and niacin. Venus is all about those. Venus, from an astrological perspective, is all about love, empathy, caring, things like that. It's also interesting as far as money goes as well, but that's completely irrelevant. As far as signs go, Taurus and Libra are associated with Venus, and that gives us a calming aspect, that Libra balance, sort of like the Justice card balance, and that Taurus gives us the calming reliability, and the Libra, the calming, the ability to resolve conflicts and things like that. So Venus provides over mid-spring, and it also relates to sugar, both regular sugar and blood sugar. So we're talking about our blood sugar going up and down. We're talking about our blood sugar being regulated, being a little bit better or worse. It sort of relates into Venus. When we see tarot cards that relate to Venus or that have Venus in them, you are looking at maybe blood sugar related things. Also, we're talking about female hormones as well, and veins, skin, and the kidneys. Now, the water behind us here talks about Venus being a very moisturizing planet as well. So it's all about sort of relieving inflammation, irritation, things like that, giving us a normalizing, calming effect and relieving pain. There's a lot of relief here. So when we see Venus, we can think of relief. Healing of wounds, relaxing, calming, antispasmodic, softening, soothing type of thing here as well, right? Talking about irritations being made better, inflammation being made better as well. So again, we're talking about mid-spring, and you can sort of sense that not only calming influence of spring kicking in here, but also that moisturizing aspect of, the spring rains coming through and all of that stuff. So when we look at this again, we're talking about Venus, again, vitamin E, niacin, but also inflammation fix. Now, inflammation wreaks absolute havoc in your body. I had trouble with inflammation myself, and I can tell you the amount of crap that inflammation affects is insane. I mean, it makes your head swell. It feels like your head's swollen. It makes your eyes not function properly. It makes everything in your body sort of ache. Inflammation is terrible. So you have a lot of symptoms associated with inflammation, like this infinite number, it seems, of things that are annoying with inflammation. So inflammation fix is going to be Venus. I mean, Venus fixes some of that inflammation. Pain relief, if we're looking for pain, maybe we have chronic pain relief as well. Venus is a good indicator of relief from that pain. So it's sort of this healing, soothing planet that we have with Venus. So when we get into tarot cards, for example, let's say that we have Venus in Aquarius. So Venus in Aquarius is the Lord of Defeat, but it's talking about this oxygenation to the blood. So we're in an air sign. Obviously, we have the little air under the word Aquarius. So we are in an air sign. But when we look at the Lord of Defeat, that Five of Swords, we're sort of sneaking into this socializing aspect as well. Now, socializing does remedy some things. I mean, socializing, being around friends, getting those good emotions going, and all of these things is a good indicator. It's something good. And we're talking about oxygenation into the heart, into the blood, and it also encourages, like I said, socializing and things like that. You can also sort of be comforting people. The socializing, where you lose your voice in the middle of the lesson, but You can also be comforting people as well. So when you're socializing, when we're talking to people, we can be comforting them. Again, sort of that fix, that Band-Aid that Venus brings with this. So it also talks about the blood cells as well. And again, oxygenation into the blood. So the little oxygen thing up here, right beside socializing, and then the oxygenation to the blood, and then down here, the socializing type aspect. So when we're looking at Venus in Aquarius, the Lord of Defeat, again, it doesn't look like much like socializing to me. And it doesn't look like a fix or a repair of maybe the social aspect and whatnot. But this is how it relates. This is how it relates to the Five of Swords. So when we go into the next Venus thing, now we're moving in sort of the earth signs now. Virgo. Venus in Virgo points to the Nine of Pentacles. Everyone's favorite card. Everyone likes this card. This is about anxiety relief. And it's sort of also talking about possible massages, anxiety relief of, you know, we're stressed. We go through life just stressed out, freaked out about everything, worried about this, worried about this. What is going to happen to me? This is terrible. And when you get this calming Nine of Pentacles, we're talking about relief from some of that. Some of that dissipates some. It dissipates some. It also fixes dryness, lubrication fixes dryness. So if we have dryness of the skin, dryness of the hands and things like that, when we pull the Nine of Pentacles, maybe we could point to, you know, maybe repairing some of that. Again, we're back to Venus being the fix-all, the big Band-Aid that fixes every little thing possible. But it is true. It is true. We have that anxiety relief that comes with the Virgo. So Virgo, you know, itself is not really exactly the most anxiety relief sign in the world. I mean, I'm a Virgo, I have to admit. Sometimes we do cause a bit of anxiety. You know, I'm not saying. But anxiety relief could point to this Nine of Pentacles, the Virgo aspect when Venus hits it. I think it's talking about that, just that balancing of those two elements. And also, again, you know, moisturizing the skin, fixing it, getting the lubrication and whatnot within there. So the next thing we're talking about is the Two of Cups. Everyone, literally everyone's favorite card. The Two of Cups, we're talking about fertility. Now, I know there are very few cards, and the Empress being one of them, that talk about fertility or that sort of hint at fertility. A lot of Empress cards, a lot of those Empress cards will have a pregnant Empress, you know, and then they'll have just some would be Empress with children, maybe a pregnant Empress. Empress points a lot to fertility. But don't forget Venus in Cancer. Cancer is such a family-friendly sign. It's such a relaxing, fun sign. When Venus, the love planet itself, hits Cancer, we're talking about that true love, that meeting of the emotions, things going well. And this sort of points to fertility as well. So get your fertility toolkit, which includes the Empress, maybe a couple of other cards. Some people say the Six of Cups because it has kids in it. Maybe just add this to your fertility window, your fertility toolkit, because it is talking about fertility, talking about pregnancies. So when somebody has a pregnancy question and you do get this, not only does it mean your partner, not only does it mean the love, meeting people, etc., but we could also point to this. Now, also, a lot of the astrology books point to lactation and stomach relief too. And don't laugh off stomach relief. If you've had GERD, or if you've had some of these acid reflux things where the acid will come back up and like your heart seizes, it feels like your heart seizing up. I mean, if you're a dude, you're like, oh my God, like what's happening to me? So you have to go get heart tests and all this other crap. I mean, so stomach relief is a big deal. Stomach relief is a big deal to some people. Some of these medications like the PPIs for this gastrointestinal stuff is like causes liver damage. You're reading all these things on WebMD. You're like, Jesus. But stomach relief is a big thing. It is a big deal. It's not just, hey, my tummy hurts, let's relieve it. No. I mean, for some people, this is a serious thing. So if you're looking at maybe some stomach relief, if we have GERD, if we have some intestinal problems, maybe the Two of Cups could be good news. Obviously, you know, we're not doctors. Again, this is entertainment purposes only, but just stomach relief, fertility, lactation, things like that, we're associated with the Two of Cups. So now we're getting to the final one here, the final four, and this is sexual desire. I have no idea what he's reading. I mean, I'm just going to put this out here. I have no idea what this dude's reading. It must be really good. Okay, but anyway, so we have sexual desire, infections. Maybe those two are related. I don't know, but a lot of these astrology books point to infections. And they talk about different areas of infections, things like that. So, you know, as far as infections go, we're getting into Scorpio. We're back into the water sign. You got to get into the water signs, right? Cancer, Scorpio, we're back into the water signs. Now, sexual desire could be related to the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups has all of these choices. We have all of these wonderful things in front of us. What do you want to focus on? What would you like to choose? Would you like that snake up there? Would you like the lizard? I mean, we got a couple of obviously, you know, sort of sexual things in there. But the snake, the lizard, whatever you want, it does point to sexual desire, or how you do that, or how you handle that. Sometimes maybe the relationship is just dead sexually, and we get the Seven of Cups. Maybe we're looking at possibly a rebirth of this, or things improving, or things getting better. Obviously, that's going to be good news for a lot of people. Could also point to infections as well. Again, I got this one astrology book, it's like 1,000-something pages, and it talks about all sorts of different infections, but it's sort of hinting at infections. And speaking of infections, it also hints at confections. So sugar overload. Now, again, we're talking about the blood sugar. Now, you remember the first, Venus, blood sugar, you know, skin, moisturizing. Let's go back to that in a minute, just for review. Let's go back to that in a minute. But the sugar overload is just having too much, having it stacked up to where it's just too many donuts, too much Krispy Kreme. Things, you know, it talks about stagnation as well of things like the nose, mucus, stuff like that. Also talks about having a chronic problems with your voice and things. But the sugar overload is one of the more prominent things that all the books say. So if you're looking at the Seven of Cups, we could have too many pieces of sugar. We could have too many donuts. We sort of want to watch out for that. So if we roll the Seven of Cups, let's sort of watch out for things like that. Let's be warned. Let's be warned and watch out for those. So let's go back to the original and have a quick review here. So again, Venus, Taurus, Libra feel, blood sugar. Very important, blood sugar. If we have diabetes, we have things like that, it could mean to watch our blood sugar, to pay special attention to it when we see Venus pop up in the tarot. Female hormones as well, related again to the Two of Cups and that pregnancy, that fertility type thing. Vein, skin, kidneys, moisturization. We're talking about all about Venus and all of that stuff. So let's go back to this Patreon. Did you know I had 45 members on my Patreon? Everything is going awesome. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. Why are they there, you ask? Because I have handouts for this class, for all the classes, all my books, my TarotOracle original book, my new book, all the handouts for all the classes, the Fluffy Virgo Lenormand, you get a digital copy of that free. The Lenormand cloths, you get that free. You get tarot numerology, you get court card guide, medical tarot, tarot 101, all the astrology stuff I've done. You get everything. Not only that, but I also include drawing tutorials. Are you interested in drawing? Have you always wondered how to draw? I show you how to do realistic animals. You can post this on your Facebook local city group, right? You post that you do realistic animals, and it's not hard. You're thinking, oh my God, that's hard. No, I have all sorts of cheats, like raw, insane cheats where I can see that dog at the bottom, the dog up top? I did those in 4 hours. 4 hours I can do this. You can too. It's nothing major, nothing exciting about it. You trace the outline, and then I show you what pencil to use. I show you all the secret techniques. Again, post this to your local city Facebook group and make some cash. Make some cash. You get all that for $5. So, I mean, come on and join me on Patreon, $5, $10, $20 level, whatever you would like to do. I would appreciate you hanging out with me. And as always, thank you for joining me for this. And I still have no idea what this dude's reading, but I mean, I'd put the book down, just me. But yeah, please hit like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.